forgot something in. I got my coffee outside. Give me a second. My wife make me some espresso today. See how that goes. Okay. So I'm Moshe. Today is the 18th of February. I'm coming to you from Israel in the Galilee, where I live, and I want to start off by showing you some pictures, and I've got to find them. These are pictures that I took in my front yard. Now these are just plants. Now this plant normally comes up a little over my ankles, like an inch or something. It's massive. I got more. Here's another one. Another one. These things are usually 4 or 5 inches high. They're several feet high. The little dogs can't get through them. The big dogs got enough trouble. I didn't want to take pictures of every one of them, but they're like on steroids. And yet again, you can see the sidewalk. Okay. So something is up. I never saw this before. These things come up almost to my waist, where they were around ankle high. You could just walk, through them, and now it's like a jungle. Like a jungle. So this is relevant to what's going on today because I'm in Israel. It wouldn't be relevant if it was this way in Brazil or Chicago or Tokyo or Rome, okay? We're not interested in those places for prophecy. All right. So let me do a little bit of housekeeping in the chat. While we'll wait for people to come in, give them a chance. While we'll wait for people to come in, give them a chance. Going as quick as I can. It's not going to be a long wait. A lot of people come in and they take off. Okay, got that done. Since we're a Bible-believing site, let's do our praise. There is no God like Jehovah. 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 There is no Messiah like Yeshua. 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 Okay, a couple of prayer requests. We'll make sure we don't forget. Um, uh, Hold on a second. I don't know what this is. Hold on. Where the heck is this? Hold on a second. Okay. First prayer request is a repeat prayer. Person didn't get healed yet, has pretty rough COVID. It's for Echo Bravo EB, Echo Bravo EB, Echo Bravo, healing from COVID. Beulah has something wrong with her. My dog, you all know Beulah. Please pray for her. It could be serious, the vet said. I don't know. Pray for Beulah the dog for healing. Beulah the dog for healing. Please pray for her. We all know Beulah. Thank you. Okay. I want to remove the healing. I want to start out by walking you through a Bible study that I put up on Telegram that I believe the Lord led me to do yesterday after the broadcast. All right, so I'm going to use those notes and continue. So I believe that we are headed into a Jubilee year that's going to start in the 7th month, which would be around August 10th, give or take a few days, because the Jubilee year, I should find that scripture for you and read it. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. It's I think it's Leviticus 25. Verse 8, we'll start there. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths. That's the Shemitah year. Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7, that's 49 years. And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 40 and 9 years. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month in the Day of Atonement. Now it's not a trumpet; it's the ram's horn, the shofar. But we read about trumpets blowing in Revelation, don't we? Okay, I have to tie that together to the Revelation trumpet. I'll get there. Day of Atonement shall you make the trumpet sound throughout all your land, and you shall hallow the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and you shall return every man unto his possession. So you get the land back. And you shall return every man unto his family. Unto his family. Basically, we're looking at the dry bones of Ezekiel 37. Now, does the Jubilee start on the 10th day of the 7th month, or does it start? Now, the rabbis don't keep a correct biblical calendar. You got to understand that. The months are triggered by the Chodesh, which is the new moon, the sliver. That's the Bible. They even have a feast day, new moon feast day. Okay? So the rabbis made a farmer's almanac calendar where they could tell you where Yom Kippur is going to be. Let's say if I put in into Google Yom Kippur 2028, they would tell me where it is. You can't do that. Okay, and their years are wacko, so you can't listen to them, okay, any more than you can listen to the church, you know, like, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. What is Christmas? It's Mass for Christ. What is this coming from? The Catholics. What does it mean? It means when they go and they hold Mass, they take communion with the wafer and the wine or the grape juice. And what they tell you is that they're dragging Christ down from heaven and re-crucifying him for the sins of the person that just took communion. And they also say that the Christ cannot resist doing this. So they're re-crucifying Yeshua, but they're not, but they say they are, over and over again, millions and millions and millions of times every year. And that's Christmas. That's the holiday that the church reveres, December 25th, which is coincidentally the birthday of the mythological sun god Tammuz, which doesn't really exist. It's probably Satan. And Tammuz's birthday, coincidentally, happens to be December 25th. And if you were going to worship the sun god, would you hold your services on Monday or Tuesday, or perhaps you'd hold it on Sunday? Enough on that. Okay, so does it start on Yom Kippur, because it says the 50th year, or do you just announce that you're coming to the 50th year, or is there an overlap? It's a good question. Because it calls it the 50th year, it very likely could be that I had it wrong the other day and it's just that you're announcing it for the coming year. But I don't know that. See, this is things we don't know. And don't go to the Talmud for an answer. That's the wrong place. You shall cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the Day of Atonement shall you make the trumpet sound throughout your land. Well, this is coming right after the 49th year, so I don't think you do this in the 50th year. And you shall hallow the 50th year. See, so maybe it really starts at the next year, which would be in February. Or maybe it does start in August, but then I don't understand. See, but then we got a problem to overcome, because it says the 50th year, and if you're doing it in the 7th month, you're still in the 49th year. So how do you have Jubilee in the 49th year overflowing into the 50th years? It doesn't make sense. So it's probably just an announcement to get the people ready, I guess. We don't have enough to go on with this, but I imagine that's the logical conclusion, so I have to stand corrected, and I guess it starts then, but I don't know. I think we have to go with starting in the 50th year. I think I had that one wrong. I originally said that months and months, years ago, but now I think we got to go back to that. So let's go back to what I put up on Telegram. A Jubilee year. See, the curious thing about this, if it starts in August, is the end of July would be the end of the year of recompenses, which started on or around, give or take a handful of days at most, August, for August 1st, 2023. So it'd be over the end of July 2024. Now the year of recompenses could start, the year of redemption could start on Yom Kippur, and the Jubilee year starts in February. That we could have. So let's pray about that, but I think we gotta go with the 50th year, which wouldn't start until February. But I did find a lot of coincidences with August. So maybe that's when the redemption year starts, although the redemption year should coincide with the Jubilee year. But I did find some curious things worth talking about. Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom? Now, Edom is going to be very important. Now, they say Edom is in Jordan, and they say historically it's more like northwest Saudi Arabia, extremely close or adjacent to Israel, down by a lot over there. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? That's Jordan or Edom. Who is this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. It's him. And I would say Jehovah at this point. He's your Redeemer. Although we could also talk about Yeshua being a kinsman redeemer too. But it says, God says, Jehovah says, Father God Jehovah says, I'm your Redeemer. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and any garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? In the wine fat. The wine press, I have trodden the wine press alone. That's the thing they walk around in and crush the the grapes to make wine. Of the people there was none. I guess they get the grape juice and it ferments, We use grapes to make leaven. My wife does, I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Now notice it's coming from Bozrah, which would be Edom or Jordan. Let's find out. Let me get a handle on that, where Bozrah is. I knew, but I forgot. Bitra, is it? It's in Moab or Edom. I think we need to lean to Jordan on this, okay? With dyed garment from Bozrah, this that is glorious in his apparel travelleth in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, not mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the winefat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Now, what it really says, let's break it down. Don't we get that? Because they twist this stuff. See, it's impossible to be a translator and not put your doctrine in the translations. So if you got bad doctrine, your translation's going to stink. That's giving them the benefit of the doubt. The foreword is perhaps better as that. The day, and that's Yom, which means day. Day of vengeance, which is Nakam. Revenge. And then it says, in my heart. So it's saying, for day, vengeance. And then it says the word lev, which is heart. And then it says Shana, which is year. And then it says Gal, which is redeem or ransom, but redeem is good. Remember, he says we'll be redeemed without money. Redeemed, so it's saying Shana, redeemed, Bo means come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. This is the Jordan or Edom area that is happening in. Remember, I told you that to surround Jerusalem, you have to be in the West Bank, which currently belongs to us. The West Bank includes East Jerusalem, because the tip of my finger would be Jerusalem, and then they surround it with my index and thumb finger. So to lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem, you have to be in the West Bank. To get into the West Bank, you'd have to go through Israel, which is unlikely the way this reads. So you would be going through Jordan, or Jordan itself turns against Israel. More likely they turn against us. I will mention the loving kindness of Jehovah and the praises of Jehovah according to all that the Lord hath bestowed on us, and the great goodness towards the house of Israel, which he hath bestowed on them, according to his mercies and according to the multitude of his loving kindnesses. Now, another distinct possibility here is that we're in Jubilee year, started a few days ago, and when the new year began, and recompenses in the day of vengeance will overlap into Jubilee. And we'll show you when Year of Redemption begins. Year of Redemption, it doesn't have to line up with the Jubilee, but I think we're in a Jubilee year. Year of Redemption has nothing to do with the crops growing. We're going to deal with that a lot in this broadcast. For he said, surely they are my people, children that will not lie. He was their Savior. In all their affliction, and the word for Savior is Yasha. In all their affliction, he was afflicted, and the angel of his presence saved them. In his love and in his pity, he redeemed them, and he bare them and carried them all the days of old. Okay, so let's go back. So the day of vengeance does seem to fit together with the year of redemption, although it says it, day of vengeance in my heart, year redeemed is come. Sounds like they're together. I'm still trying to go through this. The month of Av, which is the month that both temples were destroyed in, they say was the 9th day of Av, but it probably started on the 7th. If we're going to go based on the correct biblical calendar, based on the new moon, Sekha Chodesh, the 9th of Av would fall in the latter days of June 2024. Interesting. But there's no temple to be destroyed, so this could also be irrelevant. Seriously. Could this be when Matthew 13 harvest starts and people go to the wilderness to arrive in Israel for year of redemption? Got to pray about this. I can never remember this much rain in Israel. When we go through prophecy, we see Gaza and Lebanon get it, then Jordan gets it in two places. Gaza's getting it, and Lebanon's about to get it. So there's something up with this, right? All right, let's see what I got to clean out of the chat. Let's just take a second. Will Israel move into Rafah? All the signals are we will attack Rafah. Okay? We got more people here that don't want to grow old and want to die young. By the way, they mock me for being old. Well, Gantz said that, I think it's the 10th of March, not the 9th. It's the 10th of March to the 9th of April, Ramadan. Gantz said that, we'll even, he's not in control though. He said that they would go in at Ramadan and do it. That'll sure get the Muslim states mad at us. Okay, I think I cleaned them out. Have to go back periodically. Um, all right. Let's go dig in the Bible. Let's start with Genesis 36, 8 and 9. Genesis 36, 8 and 9. Thus dwell Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So Mount Seir appears to be in Jordan, so maybe after all it really is in Jordan. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. So the Edomites are in Mount Seir. Okay, that was the point of that. I'll read you what I found about Mount Seir. Its Hebrew name is Har Seir, which is Har means mountain or mountain. It's a mountainous region stretching between the Dead Sea and the Gulf of Aqaba in the northwestern region of Edom. So it can go down that far, I guess. And southeast of the kingdom of Judah. It may also have marked the older biblical limit of ancient Egypt. Okay, so the Gulf of Aqaba. That didn't work. Something froze, I think. No. I don't know what's wrong with this. Let's try again. I got good in. I don't know why it's dragging. I think we got a Wi-Fi issue. Now it seems to be working somewhat. So let's go back. Somebody's attacking Wi-Fi or something. Maybe they're coming around the house. Wi-Fi or something. Maybe they're coming around the house and doing something. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, Gulf of Aqaba. See, this makes me think that it really is in Saudi Arabia. The Gulf of Aqaba is kind of by my finger. Okay, so the tip there where Yemen comes down, Yemen's southwest tip, the Gulf of Suez meets the Red Sea, and the Gulf of Aqaba comes from the east of that. So really Saudi Arabia, like my. So anyway, it's Jordan or Saudi Arabia or both. It could be both, you know. So um, it's hard to get a good handle on this. Because the history books, a lot of them are twisted and twisting and turning, and you don't know what they're talking about. And see, Edom would be down by the Gulf of Aqaba in Saudi Arabia, so it's one of the two. Uh, Boy, we're having a lot of trouble. Let me take a look and see if I can do something here. Um, I don't know. It looks like it's stable. It's holding its own. There's something I can do. Deuteronomy 33. Hmm. And this is interesting. He says, and this is the Deuteronomy 33:7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear Jehovah the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people, and let his hand be sufficient. Let's check the words. It doesn't sound right. Yod, his hand. Sufficient is, I think it's abundant or great. And be thou a help to him, a help. Ezer, it could be a help or comforting to him from his enemies. And the enemy word would be tsar. More like trouble. More like from trouble. Be a help from trouble would be a better word or translation. And of Levi he said, let thy Thummim and Urim be with thy Holy One. And the word for holy is chassid, which is faithful. Pious, godly. See, the ultra-Orthodox refer to themselves as Hasidic, the faithful. Well, they follow the Talmud, not the Torah. Thuman and the Urim, with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa, and with whom thou didst strive Rabbah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant. They shall teach Yaakov thy judgments, and Israel thy law, and they shall put incense before thee, and that would be the ark of incense, which is hidden with the tabernacle. It's the altar of incense, which is hidden with the altar of incense, which I assume has incense in there, because we might be missing ingredients. And then you have in there when Jeremiah hit him in Mount Nebo, the mountain that Moses was died on. There was the tabernacle, the altar of incense, and the ark. And he sealed the cave up, and no one would find it until the Lord returns with mercy to his people, which is in Zechariah 1. Shall put incense before thee, that's from 2nd Maccabees chapter 2. And shall put incense before thee and whole burnt sacrifice upon thy altar. Speaking of the Levites. Bless, Baruch, it should be, yeah, it is. Bless Lord, Baruch, bless Jehovah, his substance. Substance could be his wealth or his strength. Probably his wealthy things, things he has, possessions. And accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that they rise not again. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. Back in, we'll go to Ezekiel 35. This will come together, be pretty interesting. 35:1. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith Jehovah, thus saith Adonai Jehovah, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I would think it's probably land including Jordan and the top of Saudi Arabia. I'm guessing that's what it includes. It may include all of Saudi Arabia too. See, Saudi Arabia is called Arabia in the Bible. And Arabia, the Saudi is the name of the family Saud. So they say Saudi Arabia, which means this is Arabia that belongs to us, well, which it doesn't. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Jehovah, because it's maybe both Jordan and parts of Saudi Arabia, or all of it. And had the blood of the children of Israel, the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, and in the time of their lawlessness, had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Adonai Jehovah, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Jordan has to be in here, okay? Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. See, I'm leaning on Jordan here, but it's possible that it flows into the part of Saudi Arabia all the way up by Israel near Jordan and so forth. I will fill his mountains with his slain men in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and you shall know that I am Jehovah. And it basically says, Ani Jehovah, which would mean me, Jehovah. Hebrew doesn't go into English too great. Because thou hast said, these two nations, that's Israel and Judah, and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. It says Jehovah was there. Therefore, as I live, saith Adonai Jehovah, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. This is prophetically massive. Massive. This is like an 8.5 or a 9 on a 10 scale. Let's read this again. Therefore, as I live, saith Adonai Jehovah, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. You got it? So what he's saying is when he wipes out Jordan and possibly part of Saudi Arabia, that's when he makes himself known to us. They shall look upon the one whom they have pierced in Zechariah 12:10. That's when he makes himself known. We'll keep digging into this. There's a lot more of this kind of stuff coming today. I'll be right back. That's a good one, isn't it? We got timing now, right? Huh? Not bad. The Lord's working good, showing us stuff. to lay the siege on Jerusalem and Judah in Zechariah 12, Jordan has to be involved. Inescapable. So Ezekiel 35:12, and thou shalt know that I am Jehovah, and I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountain of Israel, saying, he's speaking to Jordan, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. You know what religion this is. Thus turn your mouth, no, thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, by boasting against Israel, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. When does the whole earth rejoice? I think I could find scripture. Jeremiah 50. We'll start in verse 46, Jeremiah 51:46. And lest your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, this is America, Babylon, a rumor shall both come 1 year and after, and that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, we're there, getting worse though, will get worse. Ruler against ruler. Texas is the start of that against the Fed. You got to be a ruler, so you got to be like a mayor or a governor of the state or something like that. Civil war. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded. And the confounded word is put to shame. And all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth and all that are therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith Jehovah. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, and I think this has already happened on October 7th, and it's on its way again. You see, us attacking Lebanon is more than likely going to happen, and Lebanon's going to get busted up, not totally destroyed. And we're going to hit Rafah and finish off Gaza. And we'll probably occupy it continuously with soldiers and probably plan, and maybe some Jews will actually move there, but they will move there for sure after the change. Um, now, um, that's going to get the nations to rise up against us. The Muslim enemies of Israel are going to rise up against us. And that could likely be the plan that Biden and Netanyahu are working on. But then again, Netanyahu has his own unique problems with the street criminal trials, so he might be just doing this on his own against Biden. And this is Jehovah's snare, not Biden, not Blinken, not Netanyahu. And they already caused this, America did on October 7th. So at Babel shall fall the slain of all the earth. You that have escaped this, go away, stand not still. Remember Jehovah afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. Okay? So, Ezekiel 35:12, and thou shalt know that I am Jehovah, and that I have heard all blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. This is Jehovah. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. There it is. Who's going to rejoice? All the Muslim, when America gets it, all the Muslim states, China, North Korea, Russia, Belarus, Venezuela, Cuba, and probably many, many, many other nations. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was lit. So let's check that word rejoice. Simcha, yeah, it means rejoice, so joy. So will I, it's like the holiday September, which was October 7th. Uh-oh. Did I miss this? Wait. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir. No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am Jehovah. That's probably the last thing they're going to know when they're above ground. Jordan is responsible for the Temple Mount, for the Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa Mosque area. Doesn't want Jews going up there and stuff like that. Ben Gvir, our ultra-right-wing member of the Knesset, stated today that he wants to set it up that during the month of Ramadan, the Muslims don't go up to the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Great idea, but I don't think it's going to fly. Some of the terrorist states may hit it with a missile too. That's always something that happen. Ezekiel 36, and thou, son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say ye, now pay close attention. Remember, the land is super saturated with water now, and we're going to have rain tomorrow and maybe a little bit on Tuesday. Then we're going to have really nice sunny days, and we're going to hit the 70s. The land's going to go nuts with that. Crops, I mean. Also, I got like a jungle out there, like a rainforest or something, where you don't see anything growing. It's because we got wood chips, which is an ecosystem thing. So it keeps the water in the ground to a point. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel and say, you mountains of Israel. Now, the word for mountains is correct. It's har. Okay? Mountains of Israel, he's talking of. Hear the word of Jehovah. Now, God's idea of Israel is likely greater Israel from the Euphrates River to the Nile River. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. A lot of places that are in the Bible that Mount Sinai, for instance, many places, Mount Nebo, that are in possession of the Muslim neighbors. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith Adonai Jehovah, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, they're on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. The residue word is sharat. Yeah, remainder, residue. And you are taken up in the lips of talkers and are an infamy of the people. The word for infamy, it's infamy. I don't know where they pulled that word out from. Slander, defamation. Do they not slander us now? Therefore, they come in, on October 7th, they massacred babies, they put babies in ovens alive, they cut fetuses out of wombs to the dead mother. You got to be so sick to do things like this, They raped the women so much, they broke their pelvic bones, and after they died, they kept it up. The goners, these people, they burned women and children alive together, tied together with wires. Therefore, you mountains of, and then they turn around and they start screaming genocide, humanitarian rights, and how to deserve food and medicine and water and all this stuff after what they did. They never said they were sorry. All they say is we're going to do it again. And the nations are supporting them all over the world. Therefore, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of Adonai Jehovah. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah to the mountains and to the hills. And the hill word is Gebah. A small mountain, I guess. A hill, you know what a hill is, right? And to the rivers, like the Jordan River is getting ready to overflow. And the Sea of Galilee too. And to the valleys. To the desolate wastes. And to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are about. See, they are going to attack the cities. I'm thinking we're going to give it bad to Lebanon, but they're going to have a chance to get a bunch of missiles off and hit the big cities. They're going to concentrate on things like, they already hit the border, maybe Nahariya, which is not a big important place, but Haifa and Tel Aviv would be big important places. Maybe Netanya, and they possibly could go after Jerusalem and hit the Dome of the Rock. Now, I'm not telling you to pray for that, am I? Would I do a thing like that? And to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and a derision to the residue of the, they're probably going to hit Tiberias. They're not going to have I don't think they're going to have a long lifespan launching missiles from Lebanon. I imagine dispatched at least 100 aircraft to do round-the-clock bombings over there. Fly, drop bombs, come back, refuel, rearm, drop bombs, come back. Artillery barrages like they won't believe from the tanks and the mobile artillery and probably towed artillery. And the tanks and the mobile artillery will invade. So it says, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue. Now, derision is mocking us. Look, where's your God? You stinking blah, 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 to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Oh. Who burns them up on the left hand and the right hand round about, but the two witnesses in Zechariah 12:6. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yehovah, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. A prey is like a spoil or booty. Now listen, this you're going to like. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel. It's for the land of Israel. Adamea, the great, it's the land of Israel, okay? And say unto the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys. This is all of Israel. He's prophesying to them. The Lord will do nothing unless he speaks it first through his prophets. That's been done already. Now it can just happen any minute. Grin. Thus saith Adonai Yehovah, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because you have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yehovah, I have lifted up my hand. Surely the heathen that are about you, round about, they shall bear their shame. The shame word, kalma, it's kind of okay. disgrace. But you, O mountains of Israel, you shall shoot forth your branches. What is shoot forth word? Natan, give, really. Give your branches, and branches is branches, and yield your fruit. Give up your fruit. I should have showed you the pomelos laying on the floor that fell off the trees, right? I didn't do that. There weren't that many, but there was enough. I got to go grab some and eat them. They're not so bad. They're like a grapefruit. Kind of. They're pretty okay. Ours are organic and real good. So you shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel. Well, they're not here yet. Just Judah's here, really, with a little Benjamin. To my people of Israel, for, and that word means key, that, or for behold, no, I lost my place. For they are at hand to come. They are at hand to come. That means they're ready to come. Did I not show you what happened to my crops? The stuff growing in my yard? Did I not tell you I never saw rain? Before we had this last blast of rain, it was the most rain we had in 30 years. As a guess, this is probably the most rain we had in 50 years. Could some say Jubilee? For behold, I am for you. Pray, and I will turn unto you, and you shall be tilled and sown. When the ground's that wet, you break the ground, you put the seeds, you put the back in. You see, in Egypt, they used to have to work to get the water to artificially irrigate the land there, right? But when he said he was giving them the land of Canaan, told them they wouldn't have to do that anymore. He takes care of it. He's the gardener, so to speak. And he still does. I was amazed when I looked at these. First sign I had of this was at night where I couldn't see too good. My eyes aren't so hot. And it was frustrating Chief because he likes to walk around and, go potty around these things that are maybe that high off the ground. And this is like, he's a small guy. He can't get through it. The big dogs can't really get through it. And the cities shall be inhabited, and the wastes shall be built. It sounds to me like the waste. Let's check that word. 27:23. Chorev. Wait a second. Korab. A place laid waste and ruined. Desolation, decay. It could mean the old places. It could also mean that the cities. It's probably the old places. And I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit. And that means you buy a 40-foot trailer full of diapers kind of thing. And I will settle you after your old estates. Well, we know what that is. And will do better unto you than at your beginning. We get a double portion. And you shall know that I am Jehovah. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Yisrael, and they shall possess thee. and thou shalt be their inheritance, the land of Israel. And thou shalt no more henceforth bereave them of men. Speaking of the land. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, because they say unto you, thou land devourest up men, and hast bereaved thy nations. Therefore, thou shalt devour men no more. Speaking about the land, neither bereave thy nations any more, saith Adonai Jehovah. Neither will I cause to hear in thee the shame of the goyim any more. Neither shalt thou bear the reproach of the people any more. Neither shalt thou cause thy nations to fall any more, saith Adonai Jehovah. Moreover, the word of Jehovah came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way, not following the Torah, and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Therefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for the idols herewith they had polluted. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed throughout the countries according to, this is 70 AD, because the first scattering or captivity was Egypt, the second was Babylon, the third was Rome, which brought them all over the world. And the fourth one, the time and times a half, the half times, not here yet, that's in Zechariah 14, and the great day of the Lord. Half of Jerusalem goes into captivity. That never happened before, and it's a one-off event when half go. And the remnants stay there because God puts his mark in their forehead, which is more than likely his name. I don't know what else would be. And that's found in Zechariah 9. Zechariah 8 to 11 talks about the same things as Gog and Magog, but the church doesn't want you to know it. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, feigned my holy name, when they said to them, these are the people of Jehovah, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. And it still goes on today, even in Israel. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith Adonai Jehovah, do not this for you. I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which you have profaned among the heathen, whither you went. See, that's why every Israelite, lost tribes and regular, is coming out from the countries. Every last one of them. He's not going to leave one behind. They go into the wilderness, they're going to pass under the rod, enter the bond of the covenant, and if they go back to their evil way, and unclean spirits, lying, stealing, cheating, adultery, etc., they will be cut off and take the dirt nap in the desert, in the wilderness. That's the reality. You are profaned among the heathen whither you went, and I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which you profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that it says, Ani Yehovah, I am Jehovah. And see, the Hebrew doesn't go into English good. Saith Adonai Yehovah, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. Now, what it's saying, saith Adonai Yehovah, and then it has the word Kodesh, which is holy. So it's saying, saith, what is that word? Utters or declares Adonai Yehovah, Kadosh I, holy. And yeah, I guess in English you'd have to say that it would be holy in the eyes, so they'll see it's holy. Now, where do we see this? We see this in the next chapter, actually, Ezekiel 37, verse 26. He explains this. Moreover, I will make a covenant of shalom with them. Yeshua is the shalom, or the peace offering. It shall be an everlasting covenant, as if they're going to have everlasting life, or how else does that make sense? With them, I will place them, that means put them there, right? Place, Strong's number 5414 in Hebrew, and the word is pronounced Natan. I will place them and multiply them, and the multiply is Rabbah. Let's see what it really means. Increase, that brings us back to the 40-foot trip of diapers. Multiply them, and then it says it will set my sanctuary. Well, the word for set is the same as the place word, 5414. So why don't we just interpret it as place or put? And will place my sanctuary. The word for sanctuary is mikdash, it's a temple, in the midst of them forevermore. Oh, the temple is not going to be destroyed by the Antichrist. No, it only gets defiled. It doesn't get destroyed. In the midst word is tavek, midst, middle, Jerusalem. I think Jerusalem is considered the pupik of the earth. Pupik is a word that means belly button, the navel in the middle of your body. I think Jerusalem's in the middle of Israel. I believe that's the case. In the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. I told you about 2nd Maccabees chapter 2. Maccabees is an accurate book with history. My tabernacle also shall be with them also. So we're going to have the tabernacle too. Perhaps the tabernacle is going to be in the wilderness so that people can enter into the bond of the covenant, huh? And there'll be two guys probably carrying it, maybe, while the glory of God of Israel looks after Israel. And those two guys could be Elijah and Apostle John, the two witnesses. Like Moses and Aaron were in the wilderness with the children of Israel with the tabernacle. What is done once will be done again. He's going to run Israel like at the beginning with the two prophets, the two judges, like Moses and Aaron were prophets and judges, and the 70 councils like Moses and Aaron had. That's found in Isaiah 1, towards the end. My tabernacle will also be with them. Yea, I will be their God, Elohim. I will be Haya, be or become Elohim, and they shall be my people. That's Israel. And the heathen, now if you're in Yeshua HaMashiach, you're involved in this too, because you're in Israel. There's no church standing next to Israel. That's only a doctrine of demons. And the Goyim shall know that I, Yehovah, do sanctify, that's Kadosh. You probably heard the song, Kadosh. And you've heard the word used, the temple, the holiest, the holies, Kadosh, holy, Kadashim, plural, holies. So that Ani Yehovah, I Yehovah. Ani is a word you should know. Me, I or me, you know. I is more formalish English. We would say me, but okay. Sanctify, kadosh, make holy. Israel. Oh, that could be eternal life, huh? With a new body of incorruptible flesh that doesn't war against the spirit. When I do holy Israel, when my sanctuary, and the word there is mikdash, the temple, shall be in the midst forevermore. Get there. He puts it there. So when you read Ezekiel chapters 40 to 48, 9 chapters about the temple, and some wise and iron will say the temple of the Lord, and the Lord's been done away with, and all this churchianity fibs. First of all, it says in the Bible, the believers are the temple of the Holy Spirit. In 2 Corinthians 11:4, it says those that have another Jesus, the December 25th version, and they have another spirit, the unclean spirits, and they have another gospel. That's the church world, all 2 billion of them. A billion Catholics and a billion evangelical, Pentecostal, and nominal, and all of them. They don't have to worry about this. No. They don't have to worry about this. They're not going to be around. It says those in Galatians 5:19 to 21. Those that do variants, that's different doctrinal statements. And those that do seditions, which is divisions, which is exactly what a denomination is, with differing doctrinal statements, will not inherit the kingdom of God. They reject knowledge, Yeshua rejects them. They reject the scriptures all over the place. So they don't have, they're not in the faith. They're not of us. That's why they reject you. They went out from amongst us because they were not of us. How can two walk together unless they be agreed? They're not of us. Unless they repent and come out of it, they come out from amongst them. Okay? So now we go back to the previous chapter. I think I was in 24, Ezekiel 36, 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. The clean water, where do we see that? Oh, let me think. I know where it is. Zechariah 13:1, right after the battle of the siege of Judah and Jerusalem. When we win, when the two witnesses burn the enemies up on the right hand and the left hand, all round about. In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. See why the churches keep the people from studying the Old Testament, pretty much. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from your idols will I cleanse you. Now it gets very interesting. A heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. Could this be the incorruptible body, the incorruptible flesh, the eternal life? Oh, you don't want to believe that? Then you tell me what it is. Good luck with that. Out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. People say, oh, it's just spiritual. Well, you could do anything spiritual. You know, the amillennial people, which is a major piece of the church, almost half of the churchianity churches are amillennial. Catholics basically are Episcopalian, Presbyterian, Lutheran, many of them. They spiritualize everything. So 9 chapters in Ezekiel dealing with the temple, this is all, we just spiritualize it, forget about it. You know, all the things of the flesh are gone away, it's all in the spirit, you know, it's nonsense. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. Now, where do we read this? Jeremiah 31. See, I don't always have to look the scriptures up, but I'm an old guy, so sometimes I have to. Behold, the days come, saith Jehovah, that I will make a new wheat covenant. Kadosh is new. New covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. That's all 12 tribes. So Israel's back. The 10 tribes are back. Plus Judah's back. The part that's not here. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the days that I took them by the hand. When I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they broke. Mitzrah is the word for Egypt. It sounds like misery. You know, Mitzrah means Egypt. Okay. Which my covenant they break. Or we would say broke, although I was a husband unto them, saith Jehovah. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with Beit Yisrael, house of Israel. After those days, saith Jehovah, I will put my law in inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Jehovah, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Jehovah. For I will forgive their lawlessness, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus saith Jehovah, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. And Jehovah of armies is his name. If those ordinances, okay, let's go back to Ezekiel, what was I, 36. Ezekiel 36, I think, verse 26, no, something like that. And I will put my spirit, Ruach, within you. Now, we see that in Zechariah 12:10. He pours the spirit out on the house of David and the people in Jerusalem. And it probably happens to the believers all over the world. I will also save you from your uncleanness, and lay no famine upon you, and I will multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, watch the increase of the field, that you shall receive no more reproach of famine among the goyim. Then shall you remember your own evil ways, and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight. for your iniquities, lawlessness, and for your abominations. Not for your sakes do I this, saith Jehovah, Adonai Jehovah. Be it known unto you, be ashamed and confounded for your own ways, O house of Israel. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your sin, all your lawlessness, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the wastes shall be built, and the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that are passed by. Say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden, and the waste and desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. Waste, desolate city. I guess the cities are going to get busted up with the rocket and missile attacks. Probably come from Syria too. Then the heathen, it could come from Egypt. Egypt's our enemy, you know. Then the heathen that are left round about, you shall know that I, Jehovah, built the ruined places. It just says built the ruined. And the word ruined is harass, the overthrown maybe, or pulled down. Got the idea. And then it just says plant that was desolate. Ani Jehovah have spoken, I will do it. Oh yeah. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, I will yet for this be inquired of by the house of Israel, to do it for them. I will increase them with men like a flock. That takes us back to the 40-foot trailers, I guess, with diapers. As the flock of Jerusalem in her solemn feasts, so shall the waste cities be filled with flocks of men, and they shall know Ani Jehovah. You got to learn that. Ani Jehovah. I am Jehovah. Ani Jehovah, or Jehovah. All right, let me see what I got to purge out of the chat. I let it go a long time. All right, let me see. Ignore the bots. No, the rain is on. Definitely today and Monday, and then maybe we'll have some on Wednesday, Tuesday rather, 24% chance. Then we're headed for sunshine. A lot of sunshine. We'll hit the 70s. Okay. Um, Let me get back into it on Ezekiel 37. The hand of Jehovah was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of Jehovah and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, be dry. Remember the story with the beggar man that was sitting outside the gates of the rich guy, eating the crumbs from his table, and the dogs were licking his sores, and they both died. And the beggar guy, maybe his name was Lazarus, I'm not sure, went to Abraham's bosom in paradise. And the rich guy went to this other place, and he could look across a chasm or a valley to the other place. And Abraham said, "This is a great valley, and you can't cross from one side to the other, and you can't do it." And he asked Abraham to send the beggar guy over to him and dip his finger in the water, because on Abraham's bosom side, they probably had places to go swimming, drink the water, whatever, right? And they had nothing in the other place, and said it was very dry, and have the beggar guy put his finger in water and put a drop of water on his tongue, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. Now, you know where that is? This is not some spiritual depiction of the church or something, or Israel being having a what do you call it, a revival. No, literal. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, O Adonai Jehovah, thou knowest. Word for knowest is Yodah. If somebody tells you something, you would say, Ani Yodah, I know. Ani, I. Yodah, no. Or me, no. Or I know, whatever. Okay. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of Jehovah. The Lord does nothing unless he speaks it first through his prophets. This happened already. Okay, Ezekiel's a bona fide prophet. It was already done. Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath. That's the same word, ruach, but let's stay with breath. To enter into you, and you shall live. Now, the word for live, I want to dig deep into this, is chaya, which is Strong's number 2421. 2421 in the Hebrew. It's chet yud hey, chaya. It means to live. Okay, to live. Strong's version of the interpretation of this word, the first meaning is to live. Like alive. Where do we see this chaya word, the chai word? The root is chai, which is life. Where do we see it? Hosea 6, 1 and 2. We go. Come and let's return unto Jehovah, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days, remember Peter said 1,000 days is like unto the Lord, 1,000 years is unto the Lord like a day. So 2 days is not 48 hours, it's 2,000 years. This is the punishment that he put on Israel for killing his first Messiah. So after 2 days or 2,000 years, which I'd say time's just about up, will he revive us? Well, the word revive is a chaya word, 24:21. So it's basically saying after 2 days, let's check the words. It means min, which means from. Wait a minute, what are they saying here? From. I gotta go to the Hebrew. The translators are all pot. What? Isaiah 6:2 starts with Irchainu. It's like we will live. Yomim. And it's basically saying from days come days. I guess it's two days. I think they're trying to say. Then it says the shalosh rise, live to his face. Huh, let me see what I can get here. He doth bring us to life after 2 days, and the third day he raises us up and we live in front of him or before his face. That's what I think it's really saying. Let me look at something else here. Give me a second. What the heck? Window. Waiting for it to load. Boy, it's slow. My internet connection's working. I don't get it. I don't know if it's ever going to load. Got it back. I switched Wi-Fi's again. All right. This is all. Oh, I see how it works. Okay. I don't know if we're still on. This thing's not moving. Oh, there it goes. All right. Something's wrong. It should work. Let's try this. Let's see if I can get it to work now. I think I got it. Let me see. Hosea 6. Let me see how they do this. He shall make alive us from 2 days in day the third. He shall raise us up, and we shall live facing him. Yeah, all right. Let's go back to Ezekiel 37. Remember where I was. Okay. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith Adonai, Adonai Yehovah, come from the four winds, O breath, or O Ruach, spirit, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Well, when the church says that they're, this is pertaining to them having a revival, they're basically, in a way, telling the truth, because that means they're slain or dead. But I'm joking. And when it says these slain, it means those that are killed. The word is 2026 harag. They're dead, murdered, slain. It doesn't refer to the people walking around here in Israel now above the ground. That they may live, and that's the chaya word. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived. Chaya word. This is a resurrection from the dead. Remember, he blinded the eyes and stopped up the ears of the Israelites, lest they turn to him and be healed and escape the punishment. So now the punishment is off, and they're coming back. This is Zechariah 9, verse maybe 10. It's 11. Zechariah 9:11. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, circumcision has blood, the offering, so forth, have blood. I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. I told you where that is. This is it happening. Ezekiel 37. I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. That's, I'm pretty sure, who Yeshua went and preached to for the 3 days his body laid in the tomb. Turn you to the stronghold, that's Israel, you prisoners of hope. Because he preached to them, they're hoping, or, waiting and anticipating to get out. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. They come back to Israel and they partake in the double reward, double blessing. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greek, and made them as the sword of a mighty man. Okay, so this happens when we fight, like Zechariah 12:10, I imagine, in that area, and then probably shortly thereafter, and the Lord shall be seen over them. Well, that could be Jehovah, which is who it says, and it's probably the glory of God of Israel, who's the angel that Father God Jehovah put his name Jehovah in, so he's allowed to be called by Jehovah and receive offerings and so forth. And Jehovah shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and Adonai Jehovah shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. What trumpet is that? Is that Yom Kippur trumpet? Jehovah of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones. Remember, it says in Zechariah 12, I think 10, it says, the feeble shall be like David, and David slew Goliath with a sling stone in the forehead, flung a stone in his forehead. And they shall drink and make noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like bowls as the corner of the altar. And Jehovah Elohim shall save them in that day the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown lifted up as a sign upon his land, as a sign upon his land. We also are a sign. Arise, shine, we'll be shining all kinds of stuff. For how great is his goodness and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and the new wine the maids. Back to Ezekiel 37. Oh, I got the wrong chapter. Ezekiel 37:11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. That means all. Behold, they say our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. We're cut off for what we did. It just really says cut off. It doesn't say for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am Jehovah. That's Ani Jehovah. When I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. When that happens, they're going to know. The ones that came up out of the graves. And shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, Kayat. Live. Resurrection from the dead. And I shall place you in your own land, Israel. Then shall you know then shall you know Ani Jehovah, have spoken it and performed it, saith Jehovah. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. That's because Benjamin and maybe one other tribe has people here with us. Those are the companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim. Those are the 10 tribes. And for all the house of Israel, his companions. Those are the ones there's probably some Judah and Levi with them, I guess. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. Now, when the dry bones come back, in the second Exodus, it's just one nation, Israel. There's not going to be Judah and Israel. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, the anointed prince is going to be David from the line of Judah, because Judah was never divorced. Yeshua came from Judah and all that. Levites are with Judah. Judah is Levi and Judah. Will thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes, and say unto them, Thus saith Adonai Jehovah, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they have begone, and will gather them on every side into their own land. This is not the same thing as the dry bones resurrected from the dead. This is taking them from the land of the heathen. That's every country other than Israel. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And king means royal, it can be a royal, Moloch. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into their kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them, so they shall be my people, and I will be their God. And David, my servant, shall be king over them. And they all shall have one shepherd, and they shall walk in thy judgments. So the one king is probably what's called the anointed prince. David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne, so he would be of David's lineage. Yeshua also fits in here too. He's probably the shepherd. He's also the king of Israel. They both fit in. When Yeshua comes, there's no more anointed prince. Okay. They shall also walk in my judgments. You see the anointed prince get cut off in Daniel 9, about verse 25, 26. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Yaakov my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. So, sounding a little eternal lifey to me. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. That's the anointed prince. I don't believe it's going to be a literal David. David died. It's elected unto man to die only once. The anointed prince in Daniel 9, I think 25 or 26, gets cut off and dies. So it's not literally David. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, as in everlasting life. And I will, it could maybe not mean that. It can mean the covenant just doesn't go away. And I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. We covered all this, and then the tabernacle's also there. We covered this. Okay. So, let me see what's going on in the chat here and clean out the garbage, because it's rolling in wholesale today. There's nobody on the camera, just me. Okay, got a little bit of junk out of there. It wasn't much this time. All right, I want to remind you to please pray for our dog Beulah. She could have something really wrong with her. Please pray for Beulah for healing, and pray for EB, Echo Bravo, EB, Echo Bravo. Again, COVID, still sick, so please pray for EB. All right, I think we covered a lot of ground today. I'm going to keep digging. Pray that I get more answers, and I'm going to keep digging and digging. And we'll be getting more information, I'm sure. And I'm Moshe, so please pray for me and my wife that we be happy, healthy, and whole, and pray for our finances. The offerings have been bad. The revelations have been good, but the offerings are bad. I don't understand, but that happens. So pray for our finances. Pray for our peace and safety for us and our animals and pets. They be happy, healthy, and whole, and we don't have to go in the bomb shelters. And pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and pray I make better videos. And I hope you got stuff out of this. There's a lot of things flying out of this, but we'll keep focusing more and more. And I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach. And I'll keep you updated, and I'm out. Thanks.